We do what we can to avoid them, but accidents happen. And in a society where lawsuits are common and very costly, your financial security, everything you've worked so hard for, could be wiped away should you be sued and found liable without having the proper protection. A severe car accident or injury on your property could trigger a costly claim in excess of the liability coverage you currently have on your auto or home, forcing you to reach into your own pocket to cover the difference unless you have umbrella insurance. What's up, everybody? I'm Logan Alec. This is the Money Done Right Show, and today I'm going to tell you what you need to know about umbrella insurance. So, what is umbrella insurance? Umbrella insurance is additional liability coverage. You can think of umbrella insurance as an additional layer of security that picks up where the coverage of your other insurance policies ends, such as homeowners or auto policies. Want an example of how umbrella insurance could come in handy? Imagine this. It's your turn to drive a group of 5 or 6 children to their early morning soccer match, so they all pile into your SUV. Maybe one of the other parents hops into the front seat as well. The roads are slick and you're strapped for time, so you're going a little too fast. Suddenly, you hydroplane into oncoming traffic and your SUV slams into 2 cars, resulting in $90,000 in vehicle damages. Fortunately, nobody dies, but you injure 8 people and the medical bills come out to $650,000. The parent in the front seat of your SUV suggested that you slow down seconds before the accident occurred, and they decided to bring a lawsuit against you for negligence and lost wages, suing you for $410,000. In just a few seconds, that accident cost you $1,150,000 in damages and injuries. You have $500,000 in liability coverage on your auto insurance, but you're still on the hook for the remaining $650,000. Without umbrella insurance, your only options might be to clear out your retirement fund, take on a massive amount of debt, or make payments at the cost of future wages. An umbrella insurance policy, on the other hand, will cover the remaining $650,000 your auto insurance didn't cover and all the court fees associated with the lawsuit. So that leads me to my next point. What does umbrella insurance cover? Umbrella insurance provides extra coverage for expensive claims and lawsuits. Keep in mind, however, that it won't kick in until all other applicable policies have been exhausted. Umbrella insurance typically covers bodily injury of others, damages to others' property, landlord liability, certain lawsuits, legal fees, and of course, court costs. It typically doesn't cover injuries to you, damage to your personal property, intentional or criminal acts, business liability, and injuries to contracted workers. Let's talk about these coverages a bit. First off, bodily injury. Umbrella insurance will cover the cost of medical treatment, funerals, or lawsuits for others' injuries associated with the accident that exceed the limits of your auto or homeowner's insurance. You want another example or two? Great. Let's say your teenager causes a car accident. Okay, so after borrowing your family car for the day, your teen causes a car accident that severely injures a top executive for a big tech company. The medical costs and lost wages exceed the limit of your auto policy. Umbrella insurance will cover the remainder. Or let's say a guest is over at your house and trips on a toy your child left on the stairs. They fall and break a bone, which leaves them out of work for several months. Umbrella insurance will pick up where your homeowner's insurance ends. Or let's say you take your dog for a walk around the neighborhood. Your neighbor's child runs up to pet your dog and your dog bites them. Depending on the company, your homeowner's insurance may not cover the damage, but umbrella insurance will. Okay, now let's talk about property damage. If someone's property is damaged in an incident you're found liable for, umbrella insurance can help cover the costs other insurance policies may not cover. Let's say you're enjoying your vacation and it's time to rent the boat you reserved. As you go to dock to return it, you strike the pier and cause significant damage to the boat and pier. Everyone is okay, but the boat takes in water and sinks. Or let's say you run a bath and leave the room to do something while it fills. You get caught up and forget that you left the faucet on and it floods, causing water damage to your downstairs neighbor's home that exceeds the limit of your renter's insurance. Next thing umbrella insurance will cover, landlord insurance. Landlords often deal with many different types of insurance policies, but one of the most important for a rental property is umbrella insurance. Consider situations like these. A tenant has some friends over to visit. As they're walking up on the sidewalk, one of the guests trips on an uneven section of the sidewalk and falls. they injure themselves and sue you. Or maybe you have a vacant lot that some kids stumble upon and deem a perfect place for a football game. Two of the children are injured after falling into a metal rod that was left laying on the ground. The parents sue you for damages. Lawsuits aren't only brought on by injuries resulting from things like car accidents or falls on your property. Umbrella insurance will also cover you if you're sued for libel, that is, something you write that injures someone's reputation, slander, which is something you say that damages someone's reputation, malicious prosecution, and mental anguish or shock. And of course, umbrella insurance may even help cover any court costs or lawyer fees brought on by having to defend yourself in a lawsuit. Alright, now let's talk about how much umbrella insurance costs. For the protection you get, the price of umbrella insurance is dirt cheap. An umbrella policy with $1 million in coverage costs between $150 and $300 per year. The price you pay per million drops after the first million, with the second million costing about $75 per year and $50 per year for every million after that. Of course, this may vary depending on the amount of coverage you need and the insurance company you go with, so talk to your insurance agent for an accurate quote for your circumstances. Okay, but do you really need umbrella insurance? Look, it's a no-brainer if you have significant assets or savings that you want to protect. But even if you're not so juicy a target for a lawsuit, umbrella insurance can still come in handy. And it's not just for rich people. I just walked you through some very ordinary, commonplace examples that could happen to average people like you or me, right? Sure, having a large number of assets may make you a target for someone to go after in the event you're hit with a lawsuit, but being in a financial situation where you have nothing to go after at the moment could be just as devastating. If you're forced to pay a judgment, you could find yourself stuck paying a massive amount of debt or even have your future wages garnished until you pay off the settlement. You can think of umbrella insurance as an additional layer of security that picks up where the coverage of your other insurance policies ends. You may think you'll never need it. Hopefully you won't. But a valid argument can be made that everyone can benefit from personal umbrella insurance. So let's say that you are interested in umbrella insurance. How much do you need? The amount of umbrella coverage you need depends on your personal financial situation and the risk you're able to handle on your own. For some people, the amount is in line with their assets plus their income. For others, it may be dependent on their potential exposure to risk. Generally speaking, the more exposure to risk, the higher the liability limit. If basing it off your assets and income, you can get a ballpark of how much umbrella insurance you might need by following these steps. First, calculate your net worth. Add up the value of all your assets, your house, vehicles, bank accounts, stocks, bonds, retirement funds, estimated future salary, etc., and subtract your debt. Then determine your existing liability coverage. Look at your auto, boat, or homeowner's policy and find the limit of your liability coverage. Finally, compare your net worth to your liability coverage limit. If the value of your net worth exceeds the smallest number you found in step 2, you may want to consider an umbrella policy. The difference in the two amounts is what you have that's unprotected. Umbrella insurance policies typically offer at least $1 million in liability coverage and are usually available in increments of $1 million up to $5 million, though some companies may offer higher coverage. Make sure to go over everything the policy covers and pay special attention to any types of activities that may be excluded from umbrella coverage. So there you have it, umbrella insurance. Do you have umbrella insurance? What other questions do you have about umbrella insurance? Let me know in the comments, and as always, spank that like button and subscribe to Money Done Right.